Hey guys, I was invited out to Bethesda headquarters to play Todd Howard in a game of chess, and while I was there, I got my hands on an early gameplay trailer for The Elder Scrolls 6. So without further delay, let's take a look at it. The gameplay trailer for The Elder Scrolls 6. Uh-oh, looks like the fake gamer failed the QuickTime event. As your punishment, now you'll have to watch yet another review of Starfield that says the exact same thing that every other review says. I hate to say it, but I'm disappointed. I really wasn't expecting another Bethesda game from Bethesda, but it feels like Fallout 4. When Todd told me there would be 1,000 planets, I was expecting handcrafted content on 1,000 explorable planets. But nope, just look at those graphics. I was expecting next-gen graphics from the creation engine. I can't believe Todd lied again. Now, I'm going to extend this review for another 20 minutes. The first game credited with introducing QuickTime events was Dragon's Lair, all the way back in 1983. Players would have to perform the correct input at the correct time to continue progressing the story. If they failed to do so, they'd be shown a death scene and game over. It was a way to give players a feeling of interactivity and something that was actually nice to look at the time of strict technological limitations. QuickTime events were popularized by Shenmue, and since then, their implementation has evolved in some unique ways. Usually they are successful in creating a sense of tension during cutscenes or a big payoff when defeating a final boss. But sometime around the later 2000s, early 2010s, QTE started to get a little bit of a bad rap. Games might use them as a cheap way to feign interactivity or just rely on them too heavily. After all, hardware was progressing enough to the point where you could get great looking cutscene quality gameplay that kept players in control, so why resort to limiting the control of the player to just a cutscene? So more games tend to try and stay away from the classic QTE where it hits a button during a cutscene and either fail or win. But I don't ever think it's a good idea to label a tool or technique in an art form as completely outdated. Just because black and white was used before color was possible doesn't mean it can't be used with intent in unique ways in modern times. And we've recently had the perfect examples of this with QTEs in gaming. It was really fun and cool when I got to press A in Ballin' Wonderland. And if we look at another masterpiece, Resident Evil 4, I'm a big fan of both the original and the remake. One of the most memorable moments in the original for me was always the knife fight with Krauser.
Been a long time, comrade.
That scene to me perfectly encapsulates what Resident Evil 4 was. The serious tone with the over-the-top 90s action movie feel that blended together so well to make this game unique. And this scene is made using QTEs, but it works so well. You get the dramatic camera angles and cuts, the over-the-top action and animation, none of which would be possible while keeping the player in complete control. When I played this, the tension was so high in anticipation for the next QTE, and if we compare the original to what we got in the remake, I think the shortcomings are pretty evident. The approach in the remake is more grounded and keeps the player in control, which fits with the rest of the remake. But to me, this scene just wasn't as memorable or enjoyable as the original. A game like Uncharted 4 shows how you can achieve high action set pieces while keeping the player in full control. Resident Evil 4 also shows how effective QTEs can be, and that even though they might seem like a thing of the past, they can be used more effectively than modern techniques.